Hey folks, happy Friday. The final words of David are accompanied by one of his most beloved Psalms, Psalm 18. And David likely wrote that psalm when he was about 30 years old, right after the death of Saul, when David ascended the throne in Judah, and later he would become king in all of Israel. So this is before his sin against Bathsheba and her husband, Uriah. This is before the revolt of Absalom and all of the problems that David would have with his children. And so this is David at his best. He's young, he's bold, his faith has been restored. And this beautiful psalm is filled with compelling language. David describes God as his rock, his shield, his stronghold, his deliverer. He says that he cried out to God, and God rushed to his aid and delivered him from his enemies and delivered him from the tight spot that he was in and set him on spacious ground. And then his final words are prophetic. He's describing the righteous king, and he's describing him as the bright sun shining on a cloudless morning. And he's rejoicing in the everlasting covenant that God had established with him, which was ultimately fulfilled in our Lord Jesus, who describes himself as the Son of David, the bright morning star. So all this language connects. And this is designed to be a contrast between the life and the death of David and the life and the death of Saul, because that's one of the main themes of 1 and 2 Samuel. Who's the rightful king in Israel? And of course, that's David. And while David's life is marked by obedience, Saul's life is marked by disobedience. And because of that, Saul's final days are troubling. They're filled with dismay and despondency. He lacks vision. Where David had vision, Saul had none. And in fact, the day before he died, he went to visit a witch, a medium in Endor, to try to find some vision, some hope. And she summons the spirit of Samuel, which in itself is a strange story. And Samuel prophesies against him. He says that the kingdom's going to be taken from Saul and given to David, and that Saul and his 3 sons will be killed in battle the next day. And of course, that's what happens. The armies of Israel are badly routed by the Philistines. Saul's 3 sons are killed, and Saul himself is mortally wounded, and he kills himself. So it's this contrast, and it makes me think about my own life. How is my epitaph going to be read? How is the psalm of my life going to be sung? And I want it to be sung like David's. I want it to be filled with similar language of hope, of faith, of joy. I want it to be filled with prophetic vision that will be handed off to future generations. Think of how many people, of God's people, read these beautiful words of David. Billions and billions of God's people have read these. He left a prophetic vision to future generations. So if you're feeling some despair, maybe a lack of vision for your own life, maybe despondency, bind yourself to Jesus, the righteous King, the bright and morning star, the Son of David. Bind yourself to his mission, his vision, his kingdom, and your psalm of life will be sung as David's was, and so will mine. I hope this encourages you today. If it does, give this video a like and a share, and as always, get out there and make the world a better place, because you're in it. I'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks for watching.